Welcome to part 2 of PABCAB, the series where I briskly collect all badges of Phoenotopia Awakening. The blunder in the first part made me realize that I should have a backup save file at all times in case I make another routing mistake. Speaking of last time, I defeated Katash and got some fancy new weapons. Now to progress the plot, I'm going to have to backtrack to the Daea region from here. If this wasn't Zero Trial, I would have unlocked the Franway. But doing so requires a Heart Ruby, because Fran gives it to you as a gift for making the first advancement, and you can't turn it down, unfortunately. While I'm backtracking through here, I'm gonna stock up on honey brews. The count I'm buying is arbitrary, I just know that I want some. Not the cleanest navigation of Sunflower Road I've ever done. That's why I picked up the neck tier earlier, just in case. Doggone, why do I have such a habit of leaping at that point? It just doesn't work that way. Whatever, nothing's preventing me from making a few mistakes, especially because I already have. And it's just a few seconds lost, no big deal. As part of this backtrack, I'm gonna have to cross Kingdom Bridge from the south a second time. But this time I have the Sonic Spear with me, so the setup is different. I'm gonna push this crate down here. Use the little crack on the right as a visual cue, where I should throw this little box here. Wait for a bit and... oh! I had it first try and then I choked it. Oof. I did it again. Gotta wait out stamina regen there. That was attempt number 3. What happened on my first attempt was that I second guessed my positioning, so I accidentally hit left. I meant to tumble there. But I leapt on accident. Anyway, made it to the Daea region. Now the next destination is Wheat Road. Right over here. Gonna play the royal hymn for the stubborn guard, so he'll let me through. It's perfectly possible to bypass him, but he'll just whistle you away or whatever. For the time being, this place is just simple left to right navigation. Not much to talk about here. Now Bart is going to talk about activating all these windmills. I'm going to start with the north one because it's closest. And also the last one I'm going to get to is closest to the next destination. Do some menuing shenanigans. That's not... So with the Cobalt Blaster, Automata are a cinch to defeat. Well, most of them, especially these. The Tower of Dog is all about destroying Automata. Don't actually have to destroy the turrets here, I just do it because. These are the things you have to destroy. Basically everything that gets summoned when the bell rings. I personally just destroy the turrets for convenience. This is ugly. I personally like using the 5-weight Cobalt Blaster to deal with those little turrets, but maybe the double crossbow could also help. I think of the Cobalt Blaster as my weapon of choice, and gonna take a safety heal here. And the double crossbow as a backup. Okay. I'm unwittingly changing directions. A lot. That was blundered. Hang on. I suppose the double crossbow has that benefit. You can aim it straight up. Unlike the Cobalt Blaster, which is a lot more straightforward, if you'll excuse my pun. We had a cycle. Just like that. First try Tower of Dog, nice. This is how windmills are activated. Plain and simple. Now I gotta backtrack down this place. Because annoyingly falling off the side doesn't work. I didn't mention that destroying the turret, not the turrets, the flying scrappers is also a requirement on the second floor. Try not to get any random encounters here. I mean, it's nice to count towards the overworld encounter badge in this game, but wasting time does not sound like a fun idea. Next stop, Tower of the King. Doggone. game really likes doing up inputs when I'm trying to do right inputs. That happens a lot when I try to play the Royal Hymn. Oh my gosh. No. Dude. Okay, this is awkward. So on this floor, if you have the double crossbow, you can just fire it upward to get those cannons so they don't bother you. There is a quick cycle you can get when you enter the area, but it's obscenely tight. Like, I always have a hard time getting into rehearsals. So the goal here is to convey this little box without getting it shot by the turrets. Which, as you can see, I failed. I kind of blame it on my own slowness, but also partly getting greedy. Slowness with a dash of hasty. Well, slowness isn't the right term, more like hesitation. Up. Stop hitting up when I'm trying to hit left or right. Even though that moonstone is not required for the Zero Trial run, I collect it for the sake of the All Badges run, because it's a huge pain to backtrack for. Like, you have to ascend this tower again, quick cycle and everything. No, not quick cycle, but like, turrets and everything. Finally, the third of the three towers, Tower of the Queen. What I'm gonna do here is actually take out that scorpion there. If you do it with a explosive cobalt blaster round, or really something explosive, but the cobalt blaster is the easiest way. You get cooked mystery meat. Which is a very efficient healing item. Gonna be saving and reloading a lot to farm for this item. And also count towards the Survivalist badge. I'm just going to demonstrate how efficient this item is. Doesn't take too long to eat, and it heals 16 HP. Very convenient item. And the best part is, this farming counts minimally towards in-game time. Like, it takes a long time RTA, but... Okay. 7 more rounds. So this is the point I'm gonna jump cut for obvious reasons. So now I have an inventory full of mystery meat. For goodness sake! This happens every time I do this stupid Royal Hymn thing. So this tower is all about manipulating automata to do your bidding. See, if the sonic spear is just too high, a bomb helps. No, I'm not gonna take my chances. Gonna wait out the cycle. That worked out somehow. The quickest cycle to do here is counterclockwise from the bottom left. It's a tight cycle, but it is the fastest. Second fastest is counterclockwise from the bottom right. I should have just landed there, like a normal landing. Alright, definitely not the most elegant Tower of the Queen, but I'll take it. So this is what activating all the windmills was for. For activating this little subway here. Just kind of an auto-scroller sort of deal here. Stop by this area because it has some treasure. Easiest skip in the game right here. Saves a lot of trouble of going through that little bus there. Welcome to the Royal Archives. Billy's gonna be the hacker mans to deactivate that little barricade up ahead. This leads to some drone gauntlets. wasn't the most elegant showing, I'll admit. Can lay down instant KOs with 2 crossbow rounds or the Sonic Spear. These things have roughly 10 HP, the rail shooters, I mean. As for these turrets, again, they're a cinch with the Cobalt Blaster. I just find that so satisfying. The puzzle here is a kind of Sudoku variant. Just kind of filling in the blanks. Kind of being cautious here. I don't know how that worked. That worked out nicely. Oh. Frick. Hang on. Okay, there we go. In rehearsal, I've been able to go through all this without my stamina running out. So this is kind of a contingency plot. Otherwise, that was very elegant. I just exercised a lot of caution. Okay. So I normally stop by there to pick up the ancient ration and rest in the bed if needed, but because of how safely I played this, I mean, it turns out I didn't need it. So this is some straightforward hall navigation, but those rail saws can be dangerous. Alright. Ah. This enemy is a free one cycle with the Cobalt Blaster. Just fire the 5-way at point blank range, kind of like this. There is a quicker cycle than what I did, but I wasn't able to pull it off. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the energy boost. Of course. Honeybrew MVP. That was all for a Sphoralis shard, which is required for story progression. I'm gonna play more carefully here than obviously I did before, because I got hit by the first rail saw of the cycle, annoyingly and embarrassingly. I fancy myself a perfectionist. Even if there are moments, I'll just take what I can get. Time to backtrack on out of this place. That skip is literally free. Like I literally figured it out on my first playthrough. Literally. I know, excessive use of literally is unhealthy. Especially when it's not actually literal. So while I'm backtracking here, I can scoop up this real quick chest. Greed is good. Entering a cutscene with Leo. Hey man, I did it. Or whatever. Further backtracking. Gonna take my pasty white butt down Wheat Road again. Again, no business here but taking the path. Simple stuff. I prefer not to get hit by scabers if I can help it, but sometimes I just sacrifice HP for speed. Because sometimes I don't care about the HP in question. I prefer to just get moving, if that makes sense. So now that I have this Veralis shard, I'm going to continue through this area. I truthfully have no reason to save here, but you can never be too careful. So this guard is skeptical that you're the one that she wants to let through. So you have to do a little quest of sorts. Talk to some guards. Each guard drops a hint to where the next is. Pretty basic stuff. And Sir Max ends up here. And you needed him to make the guard realize who you are. Gonna try to pass by here. Just when you thought there'd be another wild goose chase, Sir Wallace steps in just in time and clears your name. And now we move on to the treachery. Take 4. Excuse me. Kinda had to burp there. Wow, pathetic. I need to do the rest damageless. I'm trying to do this without a stamina boost because there's a save point up ahead. Ah, finally! In all my other attempts at this, That stupid turret is the one thing that just screwed everything over every time. Take two. Even in total darkness, you can just run off the right ledge until you can't go right anymore, and then do a full jump to the right. That takes you straight to the box with the battery in it. Then you can use the 5-way Cobalt Blaster to break it instantly. It's a real cinch of a strategy, and I'll admit that I'm proud of it. So I'm gonna take this battery over here, and the combination of two batteries opens these barricades here, so I can proceed. Pretty simple puzzle stuff. I can break down these ghouls with explosive Cobalt Blaster rounds. I do not want golem cores because they're a waste of space. Inventory space, that is. I'm gonna use the battery there to bypass the wrecker. That's the strat I've always used since my casual playthrough. Speaking of my casual playthrough, I played through the game without any, with minimal crossbow use, and also without the Cobalt Blaster. Just as a personal challenge of sorts. Learning speed strats for this game. This battery here. Taking down and around. If the mole mine on the left explodes, the shrapnel can be dodgy. Thankfully, I had good luck on that front. This battery goes here to open one of the 3 barricades barring progress, and the rest are underground. So that's my next destination. Alright, slow down here. That way I can round up the mole mines there. Oop, that is not... This is... Oh gosh. Ooh, ah. I gotta do some improv here. Frick, those boxes are unlucky. How do I... Okay, I think that'll work. This is ugly. Help! That works. Just found that so hysterical. Definitely taking a safety heal here. I do some methodical strategy here. Fire the crossbow downright. Use the pause menu to equip the Cobalt Blaster. That way we can use a point-blank 5-way to destroy the golem. That preserves the metal box on the... the metal box near that ghoul, which is important for backtracking purposes. To transport this battery all the way to the left while taking as little damage as possible. Gonna need another box over there. Alright, yeah. Like this. See? That wasn't the most elegant way I could do it, but it definitely works. I should have waited for the save point there. But you know what? This place has more scorpions. Which means more safety heals. and further counts towards the Survivalist badge. And also, more farming. Catch you on the flip side. Terminating the jump cut early because one thing I want to mention about this farm is that it's more efficient than the one at the Tower of the Queen because there are 3 scorpions to profit from instead of just 1. That was embarrassing. Alright, gonna want this weapon equipped. So because of that blunder, I'm gonna want 1 more mystery meat for good measure. That's off screen. Doggone it. Oh well. I'm too freaking cautious anyway, so. What's 1 safety heal out of freaking... What, 16? I had to mathematics and I was too in the moment to pause, if that makes sense. This is the next treacherous area of the games. It's called Mul Caves. A slight difference from when it was called Mul Caverns. Oh, I want to go up here. See, the lower path is the one I'm used to, but I'll show you that there's a little trick. If you have a bomb or anything over your head, then slope jumping is a cinch. Like you can jump up slopes that you're not meant to jump up, like you'd normally just slide down. Hey look, a broken spaceship. Oh no! It's Ariadne! And now Gail is trapped, soon to become food for that menacing spider. Oh hey, it's Bart. He actually comes in handy. I got the rocket boots. Oh, quick climb there. Take 2. After one of the most embarrassing deaths in this recording session so far. So I'm taking the upper left path. There's also a straight right path, but this one is faster. Well, middle right, I guess. Wait out these bomby ads. Those darty ads are pesky if you leave them be, but thankfully they can easily be killed with rocket boot thrusters or the javelin. Hello, Ariadne. I'm just gonna mosey on by you. Get this big ol' 50 Rin. And take the path that's easily faster than its alternative. I'm gonna safety heal. No question about that. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking to the upper right area. Gonna be a little cautious here. Take out all these darn darty ads so they don't nip me in the butt later. Pretty simple area. Sorry if there's a bit more noise than usual. My Pro Controller ran out of battery overnight, so I have it wired to the Switch, or the docking station. Again, simple left to right movement. Dead. Just a demonstration that you don't want to go near those megaliths. Now if you backtrack from here, find a roasted bird, which, well, roast bird, which constitutes another safety heal. If you're lucky, you can get 2 drops at once. But lo and behold, I was not lucky. Sphere! The fun cannot be halted. Take a stamina boost here. A leaping hover does not clear that megalith with minimum stamina. Oh gosh. Or minimum energy. So you have to do a full jump into hover. Quick trick I use for this. Ground level javelin, full hover. Easy way to avoid those lasers. Make sure to jump late so that I dodge both those those downward lasers. Awkward. Distract that megalith by the mole mines. I'm gonna stop down here for a quick Miranda, which is essentially the E-Soda counterpart of this game. And not only does it heal more than the grape juice, it also provides a longer stamina boost. Also, that was very lucky. I usually have a low success rate in that pathway. Alright, now here's where things get real. At this point in the game, moth mines are easy to KO with just the rocket boot thrusters. Well, that's one way to deal with those flying scrappers. Ah, crap. I didn't have enough energy. So I'm doing a little bypass here. Double stack bombs and do a leaping hover for a bit of extra height. Just enough to get to that spear right there. I trust that I can get through this simple part, but... Take 2. You know, the time I said I didn't need to save there, I hardcore jinxed myself. Also, I didn't expect that load to be so quick. Dead. But Guardian Constructs have at least 60 health. How did it die with just 18 damage? It's possible that Gustav was already tussling with it and just like chased it down. Anyway, that cutscene was for the assembly of this Spiralis, which is essentially the Ocarina of Time counterpart of this game. Do some quick equipping. Place the flute with the Spiralis. I do that little crawl there so I can get within range of both turrets at once. Or, not turrets, megaliths. My strategy for the megaliths is just to mash smartly. Like, just hit random directions until my brain has processed what direction to press. Fun fact, you cannot use this Spiralis while leaping. That applies to the flute as well. Did you know that there's a secret passage over here? And it houses a whopping 60 Rin. I knew that right from the get-go. The gimmick here is that you use this Spiralis to turn on and off the lights. But if you know the path, then you don't need that. You can just navigate through with relative ease. Kind of like this, but maybe not as sloppy. Gonna do away with this roast bird. So I can buy 3 Mirandas. Because my notes say that I should have 8 stamina boosting items in preparation for the later portions of this area. You know, considering I had to retake here of all places, I'm surprised how swimmingly the environmental area went. Because normally I have much worse luck with the last megalith of the 3rd screen in particular. But it goes to show that practice pays off. And that's just a general thing with how much I have to rehearse things like this before I bust out RE Central and whatnot. This here is E.D.E.N, the final dungeon of the game. Explosive rounds from the Cobalt Blaster easily causes these guys to stagger. But if they hover like this, then they're more of a pain. I guess the number of crossbow bolts it took to destroy that Guardian Construct. Goes to show that the HP of those enemies is closer to 55 than to 60. So that's some pretty straightforward technology stuff. Using this Spiralis to operate machinery. Machinery was the term I was looking for. Anyone else notice that the Spiralis sprite is a bit stretched there? Might just be me being picky. I like to use the 5-way Cobalt Blaster against these enemies because of how much coverage the weapon has. I'm gonna play it safe. Ooh. So I said, but then that wasn't exactly as safe as I wanted it to be. Oh well, at least I survived, unlike last recording. Or last attempt. So with that taken care of, just trying to be cautious over that turtle bot on the right. I think I just drop left there, yeah. Okay. And here we are at the core. If you notice, at the very top of that room there's a map. The glowing regions have podia with crystallis. That is not the right weapon. Alright, now. There's a strategy here. That'll do it. Hang on. I'm trying to be cautious here. Don't know if I have any particular reason to, but that's what caution is. Taking it easy even if there is no real reason to do so. We tech those. I just do standard walking here. That little walk in particular is very convenient. That is not how leaping hover works. Not how the leaping hover works. Ah, that bites. Ah, my gosh, I am beefing this hardcore. Alright, please. There. That should not have been that hard. Unconditionally, every time you run into those switches there, they activate the cutscene. Like, even if you don't want them to. I want to have a stamina boost here. That way I can leap freely. And dispatch the enemies as they come. That was a good little cautious Sonic Spear throw. This is an easy screen. As long as you just keep sprinting momentum. Also, it's easy to forget that the pedestals are right there at the forefront of the screen there. Depending on cycles, those lasers can be a pain. So while I'm in here, I might as well get this moonstone for later. It's totally not necessary in Zero Trial or any percent. It just totally works out in all badges. Because literally it's on the way. There we go. I normally have a visual cue for that, but I must have since forgotten it. So I just opened the way there. And then Polecat on Discord figured out that the counterclockwise circuit through this area is quicker than the clockwise circuit. As long as you don't pick up the as long as you don't mistakenly pick up the 2 Crystallis that you used to get to the Megalith station. Take 2. While I was doing the counterclockwise circuit, I forgot to pick up 2 of the Crystallis that I was going for to begin with. These 2 right here. I accidentally left them behind. Well, I guess that's kind of better than embarrassing myself by heading to the E block without the required Crystallis. Not E block. I keep saying E block. Why do I keep saying E block? I've already been to E block. The F block, dang it. What was that? It's not necessary to destroy those Porcubots. Ugh. There. Now I have all 3 of the Crystallis that, you know, are the reason for this counterclockwise circuit. Or just the circuit in general, not necessarily counterclockwise. Because in the counterclockwise circuit, you take 1 less bus ride compared to the alternative. Is what I remember of it. The backtrack through the environmental area is leagues easier than the first time through it. No, I have to throw it that way. But I'm a cautious individual by nature. That was dodgy. See, instead of having to get lucky with this Megalith, I can just disable it that simply. Back. Please blow up. There you go. Okay. That took longer than I desired. See, now that Megalith station is open, I can backtrack through E.D.E.N with 3 Crystallis in tow. Alright, now this part can be cleared without an energy boost, thanks to tumbling. as I figured out recently while I was rehearsing. There. Now I've made it to E.D.E.N core with 5 crystals in tow. Take 3, a testament to how much the F block sucks. Gonna do a little bypass here. Double stack bombs and do a leap hover. This is the part of the dungeon that I like to call AI manipulation. Because it's AI manipulation, but with an evil eye. Whatever floats your boat. Ugh. Yeah, there was no way. I was confident that the intended hovering procedure would work out like that. I am not a fan of this pattern. There. Oh, please don't do that. That's alright. Interesting. Gonna take this little 10 fur, because why not? Oh gosh! That was very unlucky. I'm more accustomed to having the upper blocks taken out, but that's another way to do it, I guess. Now here's where I like to be extra cautious. Make sure that every single one of these dinguses is going. Learned that strategy on the fly. The Sonic Spear can take those guys out, but you can never, I mean, no, more like, there ain't no kill like overkill. Oops. You can die now. This level of caution is not necessary, but I like to say that you can never be too cautious. So now that mess is done. And I have 6 Crystallis, which I can use to open this gate here. Unlike other podia, you can take the Crystallis out of these podia, and the barricades will still be open. And now we're heading into the danger zone. Not that the entire dungeon wasn't a danger zone in its own right, but notice that jingle there indicates the achievement of the speedrunner badge. I'm pretty sure this save point heals you, but let me get immediate confirmation on that. Yeah, it definitely heals you. Attempt number 14. This foreboding hall leads to a gauntlet of 3 bosses. The first one in here is known as Mother Computer. You either provoke her or get a bad ending, so might as well provoke her as fast as possible. This is basically an upgraded version of the Cosette boss. My methodical spear placement earlier is so that I could put Gail in a crawling animation and easily evade these Toho bullets. The second leftmost platform is just out of double crossbow range, hence my use of the sonic spear. Okay. Now that the barrier is broken, the boss's eye escapes. Okay. That works. I use explosive rounds to push the eyeball into the spike pit and then finish it off with the 4 lasers Ferralis trap that just takes her out like clockwork. I mean, maybe I didn't have to, considering how much I already reduced her health, but it's just satisfying that way. So I realized 3 attempts in that I didn't have enough energy boosting items, so I picked up an extra one from the C block. The reason in particular is for this boss, because without an energy boost, this boss is more tedious, if not more difficult. That is concerning. Good dodge, though. My weapon of choice is the explosive rounds of the Kobold Blaster. Because they neuter other projectiles at their level, and also it only takes 2 of them to destroy a clone or an imposter. There's only 1 real clone at a time, and for every clone you defeat, a new clone spawns, and so does another imposter. Only the real ones can heal themselves. They heal for 10 health per second. And those clones have all the equipment that you have, including techniques and everything. Hang on. I forgot how did this part. Prior to the 3rd boss of the gauntlet, we have a lore dump here. It has its fair share of cues for starting and stopping mashing. Stop mashing on the fade in this case. And then wait until the screen is almost done panning to continue mashing. Stop mashing when the text bubbles disappear. Continue mashing on the piano note. Stop mashing on the screen fade. Continue mashing after it's done. Now time to show off what I demonstrated in the trailer, but under actual zero trial conditions. got concerning for a moment. Otherwise perfect. In my head, I am jinxing myself. Bad luck there. Good luck there. Wall mines. I'm not seasoned in dealing with these. I'm shaking right now. I freaking did it! So when this end sequence finishes up, I will have obtained Zero Trial and Dark Wings at the same time. Obviously, this is not guaranteed in a speedrun, and the contingency is just waiting until after defeating the Phalanx to go back to Dark Trial, and that takes at least 15 minutes. I let this end sequence play out in the trailer, but I'll let it happen again because, you know, with how meagerly I've completed the game, like, I think 6% completion is the exact percentage. Maybe the end cutscene has some differences compared to 100% completion. Maybe not. Oh no, notice that melody isn't there. Like, I already see a difference. For the record, I do apologize for my shoddy improv. Sometimes I gotta focus, others of times I gotta just take a moment and collect myself. Like after 13 failed attempts, I'd say evenly distributed among Mother Computer, the Shadow Clones, and Katash. Finally did it. In cases like this, I'm also trying to find the right moment to mash and make this pseudo auto scroll go faster. Or so I believe. But it's fun even if not. Oh yeah, I have a story to tell about this. I thought that I had deleted the recording of the F block through the end sequence, and like, it peeved me so much that I kinda had to go through the entire Zero Trial over again all the way to the F block. Or at least I felt I had to. By the way, this is me pressing the L button. kind of obnoxious when that happens. Turns out that I did have the footage, I just didn't realize. Excuse me. So that concludes PABCAB2. Evidently. If you hear some random noises, I'm cracking my knuckles. Yeah, 6% completion. So notice how the ending art is a lot less saturated. And instead of the 100% art that was in the trailer, you see the zero trial art right there. Which is interesting. So with that credit sequence done, the file is now gilded. And due to the nature of this series, let's take a moment to review the badges that have been collected. We have Starting Arsenal, that was from obtaining the Wooden Bat. Survivalist, from the Cooked Mystery Meat farming. Speedrunner, from getting there in like 2:20 something in-game time. Bronze Moon, for having to get at least 20 moonstones for the additional weaponry. Dark Wings, for defeating Katash. Zero Trial, for doing so with no heart rubies or energy gems, or accessibility options for that matter. And Victory, for completing the game. I'm not going to unravel these just yet. I'll do it once I have all of them. Until the next part.